Up next on Connections. Students in military getting around on the CTA and taking advantage of programs that allow discounts and in some cases free rides. We'll have all the details. Ditch the car and embrace the CTA. We'll show you the winning strategy for getting to Bears games this season. Counting down to a new Brown, we'll show you the latest new and improved stations. That plus the story of two CTA employees who have different jobs but share a winning attitude. The CTA, working hard to improve, committed to quality, and its riders. Welcome to Connections. The CTA, delivering quality, affordable transit that links people, jobs, and communities. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. The CTA continues to find ways to make transit easy and more convenient for customers. With the military free ride and student fare card programs, active military, disabled veterans, and students receive an extra helping hand on getting around the area. The Student Smart Card and the Military Service Pass are two programs designed to make travel easier for two groups of people. School is in session and kids all over the city are boarding buses and trains every day.
The Smart Card program came to us as a great idea from the CTA. They approached us and said, you know, we think that it would make a lot of sense to have the student ID card to include the CTA fare card. And it was new technology, it was something we hadn't thought about. We sat down and decided this is a great idea, let's do it together.
Instead of carrying around 3 or 4 different forms of identification, the student now has their student identification card, which is also a CTA Smart Card. They can use very conveniently on buses and trains throughout the region.
It's all about trying to make the technology work for students. Our students are way ahead of most of us in technology, and we need to catch up with them. And this is a good demonstration of that.
Last spring, CTA and CPS partnered to implement a pilot program at 2 high schools to test the technology. It was a success, so now the program is moving forward.
And this fall, though, in October, we're going to roll it out to 16 more schools. Eventually, over the next 18 months, all high schools will participate. But we're taking it in lumps of about 16 schools because it takes some training, it takes issuing new cards.
Students will be informed about the program when they enroll in school for the year. It's part of their student ID, and parents can look for the press release on our website.
It exceeded our best expectations in the pilot program. What happened was we had more students riding the CTA than they normally did because they just found it easier and more economical. And then secondly, one of the things we didn't anticipate was that because now there was fare loaded onto the student ID card, we had a significant drop in lost ID cards because they kept up with them better since it had their CTA fare on it.
Prior to this program, CPS students would have to show their identification card to our bus operators or in the rail terminals, have to dip another CTA card, and then also carry a student ID. With this partnership with CPS, it's one form of identification. It doubles as a CTA card and a student identification card.
What it can do is we have more and more students who travel distances to get to the school of their choice. We're trying to give more high school students a choice in where they go to high school. And I think this will encourage the idea of giving students more choice where they go to school. And that's one of CPS's goals.
Along with the Student Smart Card program, CTA has introduced its new Military Service Pass. The creation of a Military Service Pass program was authorized by the Chicago City Council in February. To comply with the City Council's directive, CTA worked with the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs to make the Military Service Passes available to veterans and military personnel. Now disabled veterans and active military personnel will find it even more convenient to use CTA, as they can ride free if they qualify for the pass.
Most of us veterans are on a tight income, and every little break that we get helps. CTA, I think, is doing a fine job for giving us our pass that we don't have to pay for.
Earlier this year, CTA began offering free rides to active duty military traveling in uniform on our buses and trains. In August, CTA implemented what we're calling the Military Service Pass, and people who are eligible for that include active duty military as well as disabled veterans.
There are so many people that don't have the resources to do the things that they need to do, and transportation is one of the key things to help guys get around to get done what they have to do.
With the Military Service Pass, disabled veterans and active military receive free rides anywhere the CTA can take them.
I'm starting school next week again, so I will start taking the CTA again.
The Military Service Pass is for eligible disabled veterans, and that information on eligibility is found on CTA's website. And it's also for active duty military who are unable or do not travel in their military uniform.
I commend them for making a chance and a choice and opportunity for veterans.
The locations where an individual can get a military service pass are listed on our website. Eligible participants are encouraged to sign up and show proof of eligibility, and they can walk away with a military service pass and use that day on the system.
To get more information about these programs or to find out if you or a family member qualifies, just go to www.transitchicago.com. No doubt about it, Chicago is definitely a sports town. But with thousands and thousands of fans come thousands and thousands of parked cars. So why not avoid the hassle of parking? Take the CTA.
I think Chicago is one of the great sports capitals of the world, and Chicago Transit Authority provides service just about all of our major sporting events as well as our colleges within the Chicagoland area. And we just do a wonderful job of making sure that, we have sufficient extra service to provide for bus and rail to transport our customers to and from all their sporting events throughout the Chicagoland area.
On Bears game days, there are special express buses that handle the crowds. And with CTA, getting to and from the Bears games couldn't be easier.
The Chicago Transit Authority, we provide extra service on the number 12 Roosevelt route, as well as the 146 and the 128 Soldier Field Express. Also, we provide extra service on the rail with the orange, green, and the red line, which is what our customers are able to make connections at Roosevelt and transfer over to the Roosevelt bus that takes you directly into Soldier Field.
You can also walk from the Roosevelt train station. It's just 4 blocks west of Soldier Field. There are many reasons to choose CTA to get to the monsters of the Midway.
CTA is a great option because the parking situation sometimes is not adequate, and it gives you an opportunity to enjoy the city for different tourists that comes in. And it's great for the environment, as well as just giving you an opportunity to be exposed to the city of Chicago. We provide extra service for our customers to get to the game, as well as extra service that's available at the completion of the game to service any amount of capacity crowds that may exist at any of our sporting events.
And be sure to keep CTA in mind in October when the Bulls start playing and the Blackhawks open their regular season.
We also provide service for the United Center. The 20 Madison routes goes directly into the United Center, as well as the 19 Express route, which is extra service that we put out. The 50 Damon route, and as well as the rail, the Blue Line make connections at Medical Center and the Damon stop to service right into the United Center.
And one thing that Cubs and Sox fans can agree on is taking public transit to the games. The Red Line serves both ballparks directly and offers easy connections from the other rail lines and many bus routes. In addition to the Red Line, there are several bus routes that provide direct service to the games.
CTA is one of the greatest transit systems throughout the world. We provide world-class service to our customers. We make sure that we have adequate service available to accommodate any amount of crowds that's going to and from any sporting events throughout the Chicagoland area.
Whatever team you're cheering for, the CTA is sure to get you there to see them. Just ahead on Connections, 2 stations boasting major improvements. So we're asking people what their favorite CTA destination is. What's yours?
Anywhere downtown.
Really?
I will not drive downtown.
Millennium Park. It's all downtown and mixed up with all this traffic on Michigan and all this congestion downtown. So, Millennium Park.
We're coming downtown to see, go around, look around.
Downtown.
Why is that?
Because there's a lot of traffic.
And you don't like traffic?
Nope.
That would be the Millennium Park.
I wouldn't even think about driving downtown right now.
It's close to my house, the Green Line, so I can take that, and I'm here in 5 minutes, so that's my best place to go. Not have to drive.
Combining technology and teamwork while delivering dependable, affordable transit. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. Can you believe the progress on the Brown Line? Well, if you're using the Diversey or Chicago stations, then you're probably noticing some huge changes. Do you remember when the Diversey station looked like this? What a difference a year of construction makes.
This station originally opened in the very early 1900s, so we're actually replacing a station that's been here for almost 100 years. The old station house, which is on the north side of the street here, is being refurbished in accordance with state historic requirements. The station house really is kept intact. The outside brick is refurbished to its original condition, so it's made to look like it did when it first opened.
In the weeks ahead, CTA will continue refurbishing the old station house. But as of August, customers are able to use the new building with all of its new amenities.
Platforms here were lengthened to accommodate 8-car trains, which we're doing on all the Brown Line stations. We've added 2 new elevators here to make the station ADA accessible. The entire station was rebuilt on the south side of the street here, featuring new lighting, new support rooms, new signage and graphics. There's a bike rack installed inside the station house here, and there will be several more on the north side of the street once we complete our work on that side.
The Diversey station is the 11th of 18 Brown Line stations to be completed as part of the Brown Line Capacity Expansion Project. All of these stations feature longer platforms, elevators or ramps, and other amenities. The new Chicago Avenue station house will open next, and customers who use the old station have a lot to look forward to.
The next station will be the Chicago station sometime in September. So we're almost finished with that and getting ready to provide that station, get the elevators working there, and make another station ADA accessible.
Excessively high gas prices, a weakened economy, and increasingly congested roadways are driving more commuters to public transit than ever before. This year, CTA has seen ridership increase by 5.3% over 2007. CTA's ridership has risen to 1.7 million rides on an average weekday. One of the goals of the Brown Line Capacity Expansion Project is to provide longer platforms that accommodate longer trains. The work to update the Brown Line stations continues, and we'll keep you posted on all the incredible changes. Still to come, an update on loop signal work. On an average weekday, the CTA provides 1.7 million rides, getting people where they need to go around Chicago and the 40 surrounding suburbs. If you want to hop aboard, here's how to get all the information you need. Online, go to www.transitchicago.com. There you can access system maps, bus and train schedules, and service updates. You can even use the Google Trip Planner. Enter where you want to start, where you want to go, and what time you plan to travel. For regional trips, you can use the RTA Trip Planner. Another option, make the connection by phone. Call 836-7000 from any local area code. The word connection, a link or a spark that brings people together. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. Work will resume this month on a project to improve the signal system for the loop elevated lines. In addition, crews will be doing work to prevent slow zones by replacing track and rail ties that are 40 years old. A new signal and train control system is being installed at the loop junction of Van Buren and Wabash, also called Tower 12, to replace the existing system that is more than 30 years old. The next phase of the project will focus on a new system at the junction of Lake and Wells, also referred to as Tower 18. These are two of the busiest junctions on CTA's rail system. The new systems will help to improve the reliability of service by regulating train movement, speed, and intervals at those junctions.
The track and ties on the Lake Street and Wabash Avenue sides of the loop have undergone a lot of wear and tear in the last 30 or 40 years, and they've approached the end of their useful lifespan and are in need of replacement. We're now going to be performing some track and tie renewal on the Wabash Avenue and Lake Street sides of the loop.
We've been watching slow zone work on the Blue Line, and although this project is similar, it's actually preventing slow zones before they happen, which will keep you getting to work or play just as fast as ever.
By doing the track and tie replacement in the loop right now, we'll actually be preventing slow zones from occurring in some of our busiest areas of traffic in the future.
The ties today are of a timber material, a wooden tie, and we're replacing that with a composite material that is supposed to provide both a smoother ride and give us longer life on the ties themselves.
The old 90 and 100-pound rail gets replaced with 115-pound, which is our standard weight of running rail. In addition to that, we have new tie plates and fasteners.
The CTA is scheduling work on the loop elevated to complete this first phase of the project during hours where riders will feel the least impact, late at night and on weekends.
We've gone to great lengths to schedule most of the work to be performed at night and on weekends so that it has a minimal impact on the majority of our riders. And what we're going to do in order to expedite construction and complete it this year is we're going to take all trains off of the Wabash and Lake Street sides of the loop and reroute everything that usually runs here to the Wells and Van Buren sides.
On select weeknights, trains will be rerouted through the loop. The most intense work will occur on weekends, which is when both tracks on the Lake and Wabash side of the loop will be taken out of service and trains will be rerouted to the Wells and Van Buren tracks.
That work will occur, it'll begin on a Friday night and run through Monday. We'll shut down the elevated structure on both the Wabash and Lake side during that period and run the trains on the opposite side of the elevated structure.
So when weekend construction is scheduled, customers will board northbound trains on the north side of Van Buren and the east side of Wells. Southbound riders will board on the west side of Wells and the south side of Van Buren. CTA's website, www.transitchicago.com, will keep you up to date on any changes to the train schedules. Up next, pedal power and mass transit, a combination that's hard to beat. Getting from here to there quickly, easily, and without breaking the bank. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. I know the calendar says that summer is ending, but there's still some time to enjoy some nice weather, and bicycling is a great way to enjoy the city.
Chicago is a great city for bicycling. Chicago has over 100 miles of on-street bike lanes. There's 6 off-street trails in Chicago, over 10,000 bicycle parking racks. So there's tons of facilities for people on bikes. It's getting better every year.
Bicycling fits perfectly with cities, and what you want to see in a city is a mix of transit, walking, and bicycling that gives a lot of people living in a small space ways of getting around. It's where you get the benefits for congestion because people are moving in efficient ways.
Bicycling in Chicago has become increasingly popular as gas prices have risen, and CTA provides many ways to help bicyclists ease their commutes.
I think we have a historic opportunity for bikes and transit to work together. So where the city's putting in bike lanes to go to the transit stations, and we're putting in bike racks inside the transit stations. We have bike racks right now inside. 85 CTA stations. Bikes can take you somewhere for a mile or two. Transit can take you somewhere for 5 or 10 miles. Together, it's a perfect marriage.
So it must take an expert rider to put their bike on that bus bike rack, right? Not at all. CTA has made it convenient for all bicyclists. At the Bike to Work rally this summer, CTA employees used a demo bike rack to show just how easy it is.
So when the bus pulls up, the first thing that you want to do is make your intentions known to the operator that you're going to be putting your bike on the rack. You can do this by making eye contact, waving at the bus operator, saying something through the door. The first step is to deploy the rack by squeezing the center handle and locking it in the down position. After this is done, due to these advertising signs, what you want to do is clear the wheel well of the red bicycle support arm. Always put the front tire where the bicycle support arm is, never the rear tire. After the bike is in the wheel well, secure the front tire by rotating the handle back, securing the tire. You're ready to board the bus and pay your fare. Then on the way out, what you want to do is you want to alight at the front of the bus, make your intentions known to the operator that you intend on getting your bike off the front of the bus. Alight at the front, come down, unlock the wheel with the support arm, remove your bike from the front of the bus, return the support arm back to the wheel well, and if you're the last person to take your bike off the rack, what we ask is that you return the rack to the upright position.
Taking your bike and putting it on one of the CTA buses, we actually tested it. It takes about 7 seconds.
And with the addition of new bike parking at 4 CTA stations, riders will find it easier than ever to combine bicycles and the CTA.
The Chicago Department of Transportation is building multi-space bike parking structures at 4 CTA stations. And really the parking structures are meeting the demand. You'll be able to have a seamless transition from your home via your bike to the CTA station, to work, to school, and then reverse that commute on the way home.
CDOT will be installing the bike parking at 4 CTA stations, Damon and Jefferson Park on the O'Hare branch of the Blue Line, Midway on the Orange Line, and Sox 35th on the Red Line. The enclosed shelter parking spaces will provide safe, convenient, well-lit parking for riders, and it's free for CTA customers.
The 4 stations were chosen primarily because of the existing demand for bike parking. Here at Damon, we've been installing bike racks outside the station for several years now. Every time we add new bike racks, they're taken up almost immediately. So the demand at those 4 stations really has been consistently high, and that's why we think they're good candidates for the bike parking.
There are a few rules you need to follow when taking your bike on CTA. You can take your bike on the bus with you at any time of day that the bus is in operation. Each bus can accommodate 2 bicycles. Bikes can be brought on trains 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The only exception is the rush period from 7 to 9 a.m. and 4 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And bikes are not allowed on the train at all on July 3rd. Children age 14 and over are allowed to bring their bikes on the system with them. Children aged 12 and 13 must be accompanied by an adult. Children under 12 are not allowed on the CTA with a bicycle.
I think it's fantastic that CTA provides bike and ride services. It makes it a lot easier for cyclists to extend their trips.
So this program really combines 2 great modes of transportation and makes it convenient for all users.
So the weather may get a little more unpredictable. You can still go for a ride and know that the CTA has got you covered. Did you know CTA has thousands of dedicated employees? Each one works hard to keep things running smoothly for CTA customers. This month we have 2 special champions. They have 2 very different jobs, but each one is exceptional.
I've worked for CTA for 4.5 years.
I've been doing this for 11 years.
Every day we get a different route and we have different personnel and we collect money throughout the Chicago metropolitan area.
When I come in the morning, I get myself ready for today's task is working on the track. I put on my work boots and make sure I have all my equipment.
Each year, CTA holds bus and rail rodeo competitions to determine who is the best in several different categories. Kanata Burnett led the field in revenue collections, and Angelo Ware mopped up the competition in the cleanliness category. Angelo and Kanata make their jobs look easy. Day in and day out, they perform tasks that can be difficult and often taken for granted. Fare collection, for instance, calls for a strong back and a good attitude.
It's a serious job. It's a difficult job. We go up and down every staircase for CTA. We have a lot of stairs, as well as carrying 100 pounds, so it's a real difficult job.
Both men realize how critical their jobs are in keeping customers satisfied.
The importance of keeping the track clean is keeping it clean for the customers, and once you get the tracks clean and your customer sees that the station is clean as well, you will get more ridership, and people will seem to get more people to come.
Favorite part of my job is the people. I love being outdoors and coming across all kinds of individuals every day and helping people out.
I want the customers to know that we're doing the job that we're supposed to do, and we're trying to keep everything clean to beautify the CTA. That's the status of keeping us safe and clean stations.
Angelo competed in the cleanliness competition several years. This is his first win.
What I did different was I came a little quicker than I was. A couple of years I've been doing it. Well, my teammates, they like it. You know, they joked with me, but you know, it's like a good thing that I brought the championship to our department.
And our #1 winner was Kanata Burnett.
This was the first year that revenue collection was featured at the rodeo, and Kanata was honored to be the first winner.
Something new, motivation. You know, you want to keep the morale up in your departments, and something like this is good for our department because it brings us all close together. Well, there's 15 of us collectors. The smaller it is, the more in tune you are with each other. We all, you know, we hang outside of the job as well. We help each other out when we're down, lift each other up. You know, it's a family environment, and that's something that I really appreciate.
It's good to know that there are employees like Angelo and Kanata looking out for fellow employees and for customers. How did they feel about being the best in their field?
It felt great. It felt good. I didn't know that I won. When I heard my name called, I was, excited.
Oh, it feels great. It feels great. I'm going for a second term.
Angelo and Kanata are two more examples of people who do jobs you may have never even thought of, but they both are the very best at what they do. We'll be right back. Missed an episode of Connections? Want to find an address or a link featured? Then go to the Connections website. There are several ways to find us. Go to www.transitchicago.com and click on Connections. Or visit the Connections website at podcastchicago.tv and click the Connections link to find the most recent episodes. You can watch episodes online for instant viewing, or you can subscribe with your favorite podcasting tool and automatically download new shows each month. Like all video podcasts, Connections can be viewed directly on your computer or laptop, or can be viewed on a portable media player such as the Video iPod. Connect online with Connections at podcastchicago.tv. Traveling in and around Chicago on the CTA saves you time and money. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. We're always looking for story ideas. Do you have a travel secret you'd like to share? How about a hidden Chicago gem that's served by the CTA? We want to hear about it, so give us a call at the Connections hotline, 312-681-2812. Helping you make your connections, I'm Jean Sparrow. Thank you for watching.